This is a joyous occasion, sort of as the bookend to the more somber one when we had the memorial right after Bobbie died over at the Arts Center. So again, we welcome everyone. We have a brief ceremony with a variety of speakers whose roles will become obvious, and then we're all invited into the Art League building for a little reception and an exhibition that is being initiated tonight as well. I'm just going to start off by thanking a few people for their involvement. Bobbie, as you know, was a lifelong Oak Parker, except for a couple of little gaps for schooling and so forth, and just involved in so many aspects that of involvement in the community that we couldn't even get them all on the plaque as much as we'd have needed to be in 2-point type to get everything on. Some of the people we'd like to thank for being here, the committee was Larry Christmas over there, Lawrence Christmas, former president of the village, who had the idea of doing a sculpture. Camille Wilson-White, who is right over here, from the Art League, the Arts Council, and who has been the treasurer and keeping track of the expenses going through this and helping shepherd this account that was opened and making sure everything worked well as the three of us spending a lot of time meeting with possible sculptors, and especially with Mike, who you'll be hearing from, the eventual person chosen to do it. And we had one more member at the early start of this, Carolina Song, who couldn't be here tonight and who was helped with the fundraising aspect at the beginning of setting up stuff with the webpage and so forth. And we appreciate what she was able to do before other things took us away. In addition to, we want to thank the 70 some odd people who made financial donations to this to enable us to do it, for casting the sculpture, for creating the base, for putting in the bottom, for doing the plaque and everything else involved. There was a few other groups we'd like to recognize. The Oak Park River Forest Community Foundation for its support and its interest and holding the scholarship that Bobbie has been so involved with, and her support of the arts and the Alumni Association at the high school. To Jill Kramer-Goldstein, the executive director of the Oak Park Art League, who has been not only interested in helping, but really made sure, and she's standing back there, to make sure that the board was on board, if you pardon that expression, and to agree to make a permanent place at this, center where Bobbie was involved for something like 40 years. To David Baker, who's doing the videoing, we appreciate his support. To Deborah Stoklosa for doing the flower arrangement and bringing that for us. To Charles and his family for really supporting getting the art over here for the sale that helped do some of the fundraising. And of course, you can hardly mention Bobbie without in some way mentioning her grandson Trevor, who was the delight of her life. And lastly, Sandra Burns, her longtime friend and lawyer, who was very, very involved with some of this as well. So without further ado, the order will be President Scaman of the Village of Oak Park, then Richard the sculptor, Vicki, and then Camille, then Richard, then Charles, and then I'll turn it over to the end. All right? President Scaman.
Thank you, David, and to everyone on the committee. David Baker, is this an okay distance for the audio? Okay, all right. Thank you. So I am Vicki Scaman, the current village president, but it was while I was village clerk that I had the absolute honor of writing this resolution that was passed in memoriam of the Roberta Bobbie Raymond by the previous board and signed by then Mayor Anan Abu Taleb. I did this with the loving assistance of Michael, Sandra Sokol, and Lords Nichols to share their stories and everything that Bobbie was to this community. You could never, ever put in one resolution. Just as David mentioned how you'd have to have the number 2 font to have it all fit, even if you used all 4 sides over here. The village of Oak Park would not be what it is today without Bobbie Raymond. Whereas the Oak Park community joins the family of Roberta Bobbie Raymond in mourning her death on May 7th, 2019. And whereas the village of Oak Park will forever remember Bobbie for her tireless activism, striving for equality and opportunity, passion for the arts, dedication to philanthropy, and undeniable love of our community. Admittedly, a little feisty, Bobbie believed in Oak Park before Oak Park knew what to believe in. And whereas, after witnessing discrimination in housing as a young woman, Bobbie first joined the Oak Park and River Forest Citizen Committee for Human Rights in 1966 and advocated for Oak Park to pass a fair housing ordinance in 1968. And whereas Bobbie Raymond then sought a master's degree in sociology from Roosevelt University, which she achieved with honor after writing her thesis on creating a plan for successful racial integration in an otherwise white suburb of the west side of Chicago. The challenge to Oak Park, a suburban community, faces racial change. And whereas, with a plan that involved talking to people, educating homeowners, potential home buyers, and real estate agents to encourage affirmative moves for successful integration, Bobbie founded the Oak Park Housing Center in 1972. Her plan was later to be referred to as the Oak Park Plan. She served as the executive director of the Oak Park Regional Housing Center for 26 years. And whereas Bobbie Raymond hoped to change the way people thought about integration. If you were not looking to live in a diverse community, maybe Oak Park wasn't the place for you, as she was known to say. Bobbie helped found the influential Oak Park Exchange Congress, which gathered like-minded communities from around the country to share best practices on integration efforts. And whereas Bobbie Raymond was a scholar and an artist, she appreciated the education she received from Oak Park River Forest High School and hoped other young people would thrive from their experience at her alma mater. She co-founded the Oak Park River Forest Scholarship Foundation, served on the board of the Oak Park Area Arts Council, taught classes at the Oak Park Art League, and served on the Oak Park Development Corporation board, among others. And whereas Bobbie Raymond received many awards for her accomplishments, including the Elysian Award, Athena Award, Eleanor Roosevelt Humanitarian Award, and the Studs Terkel Award, Bobbie found peace in gardening and enjoyed spending time with her family and close friends. Bobbie's love of Oak Park and passion to work towards a strong, integrated, and diverse community will leave a profound and lasting influence on Oak Park for generations to come. Now, therefore, it was resolved by the President and Board of Trustees of the Village of Oak Park that the sympathy of the officials and citizens of the Village of Oak Park be expressed to Roberta Bobbie Raymond's family, and this resolution in memoriam be respectfully presented to them, and that a copy be preserved in the official records of the Village of Oak Park.
Thank you. Shall I? Thanks. Good evening, everyone. I'm Camille Wilson-White, the Executive Director of the Oak Park Area Arts Council. And I think I first want to tell you about one of the first times I met Bobbie. Certainly, she invited me to her house for dinner. And she said, bring your boys. Well, my sons were little guys at the time. So we went over there and we're at the table and she had roast chicken and tabbouleh and I forgot what else is on the side. And then for dessert, she had made this homemade angel food cake with fresh strawberries. So she and I are talking, Richard's at the table, we're all having a great conversation, and I look over and I see Julius and Jared, my boys, tearing strips of the chiffon cake, putting blueberries inside, and rolling them up and eating them that way. I was mortified. I didn't want to say anything, and Bobbie glanced at them and without even breaking a sweat said, oh, they're making little crepes. And I was just like, yeah, I guess they are, Bobbie. But I also just want to talk about the process, this journey that David and Larry and I have been on for the past 2 years. It gave me a wonderful opportunity to work with these two gentlemen, former trustee, former village president of Oak Park, but also to watch them in action, to watch how they raise funds in order to make this all possible. They never gave up. They were determined. They stayed dedicated to this cause, and they did it. And what they did was just a testament to how much they loved, respected, and honored and admired Bobbie. So even though I didn't intend to be a part of that committee, when I saw these gentlemen going at it so hard and so dedicated, I couldn't help but say, what do you need me to do? So it all worked out. I am very, very happy. I think the sculpture turned out beautifully. I think she's the first woman sculptor in Oak Park, right, Mike? Larry? Yeah? So thank you. And then one last thing that I have to say, I love her image. I love her mouth. She's talking to you. And you know when Bobbie speaks, you better listen. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
First off, I want to say that it's really was an honor and a privilege to have been able to create this portrait. I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to have given the opportunity to create this portrait of Bobbie. And one thing, this was also a great educational process for me. I had just known Bobbie as a fellow artist, somebody, a figurative artist, somebody who did some really cool watercolors, and all this. And it wasn't until I really got into this project that, I heard rumors of the stuff she had done, but when I started actually studying her life and trying to figure out who she was, I was just flabbergasted. I was just amazed at all the stuff she had done. And then I just, it was really an example for me on the project itself because, I'm reading about her setting her mind to accomplish something. And here I want to get this project, and I'm thinking, Mike, just look at her and set your mind to this. And so it really was quite an example for me. Just to let you know, I watched the videos on Bobbie incessantly for about a year and a half. And then after I watched them with sound, I went back and watched them in slow-mo. And I did over 50 drawings of her, okay? And I made 8 sculptures of her. And this was actually sculpture number 7. But I want to give one more shot to see if I could do a better job, or I want to try one more thing. And I did sculpture number 8, and I said, you know, it's good, but this one's better. And so, anyways, that's it for me. And thanks again. You got it?
Yeah. Come on. All right. My assistant and I are going to speak real quickly. I was going to thank everyone for their work, the donations, the Art League for allowing us to put this here. But David already did it. So, but I will thank David, who probably for the first year I was kind of out of it with dealing with the loss, and he carried the torch from my perspective, and so I'm very appreciative for that. And as far as this, it really does look like her. You know, when we went over to Mike's to see it, I had some trepidation because I mean, Mike's a nice guy, but I didn't know if it would look like Edgar Rice Burroughs. I didn't know who it was going to look like. So I'm really impressed because I know that face very well. So anyway, I know Trevor used to spend some time here with her, and I don't know, you could tell. I was never with you guys, so.
Yes, I remember multiple occasions, handful of times after school, coming over here, looking at, you know, other people's art, other art openings, and then a few years ago coming here to look at, you know, the exhibit of her own work. And it's very cool to see, you know, all those moments spent here culminate in this statue here in the end, it seems. So it's just very impressive to see, you know, what has come of all my time spent with her and here. Yes, so yeah, thanks everyone for coming out though.
Thank you. So anything else? I think that's it. I thanked everyone, and we don't have any real good stories, do we? No. I mean, the stories I have are, some of them are not for public. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you to our speakers, and thank you for all being here. There were a couple of other people who unfortunately couldn't, and we had donations from people around the country. I should mention that. People from Minneapolis, from Colorado, I think one from California, and the people who went to school with her or lived here for a number of years and worked with her in one of the many, many different activities. I hope everyone will come over and read the plaque, as well as taking a real good look at everything. And I hope that the artists will, come over and pat her on the head to remind them of once in a while of how dedicated an artist can be, who wants to draw, and paint, even while doing a million other things. So again, thank you to everyone. It's a bittersweet moment for us. Sandra and I were friends with Bobbie for almost 50 years, and I'm sure many of you here also could share long and meaningful experiences. So please, let's go in, see the exhibition, and thank you for all your support.